So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amara Kumpo. I'm an arts coach. So basically, this platform is a place where I lend my voice to important issues. What we're going to be talking about today is basically growing our own foods. Okay, so joining me today is a farmer. He calls himself an agronomist. I believe when it comes up, he will shed more light on that. So, his name is Samuel Ope of Farmnatics. So, I'll just kind of give us a background story why we are doing this live. During the lockdown, that was 2020. So, I had an understanding. In fact, if you go straight to the first post on my page, you would see that's Amara Kumpo _. If you go to the first post on my page, you would see where I talked about that people should tag farmers to my page, people involved in agriculture to my page, because around that time I just had an understanding that there was a food crisis looming in the near distance from what happened at that time. Not just what happened physically, but more like an insight I just had from within me that if people didn't start going into agriculture, growing their own food, that things could get worse in the future. So then after, I had a dream also. I had a dream where people were going to the market to buy food. They had money with them, bundles of money with them, but they couldn't buy food. There was no food. So it was just to buttress the thoughts I had in my mind. Aside from that, I'm more like, I'm a prophetic person. So I've seen prophets that have also talked about this and confirmed those concerns I've had. Even on my YouTube channel, I have started talking about it. During the election period, I also talked about 3 things that people have to do. So it was election period then, so I was telling people, okay, get your PVC, but aside from getting your PVC, make sure you pray, make sure you vote for the right person. And thirdly, that people should start farming. They should go back to the farm. People should start growing their food. That's wherever you are, start growing your food. Start growing your food. That things will get worse when it comes to food, getting food supply basically. So I've done a bit of, I'll call it gardening, like kitchen gardening and all that. But I know that it is much beyond that, because when I started doing all this gardening, I saw that if someone was to be self-sufficient as a family, the person needs to grow more food in a larger space. And then you also need somebody to guide you. You need an expert to work with you so that everything will be fast. So if you're joining, kindly just type in where you're joining us from. Just type in your location, your state where you're joining us from. Thank you. Welcome. I'll be inviting our guest speaker today. I'll be inviting him here that's joined us. So once you just join in, kindly just type in where you're coming from, where you're watching us from. Because hello, Samuel, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good evening. Good day, wherever you are.
Yeah, good evening. Samuel is a very busy man. He's a very busy man. So I'm so glad you agreed to do this live, and I'm sure that a lot of people will be and will get a lot from this, because there's so many things that we don't know about farming, and you happen to be the expert here. So we'll be so glad to have our eyes open, more like enlightened. We'd like to be enlightened, yes, what we can do, how we can start growing our food. Wow, from Maiduguri, so good to have you. Welcome, welcome. That's Edache Joe. Welcome. He's watching us from Maiduguri. Good, good, good. So welcome, guys. Please tell us where you're watching us from. So because I know we have a global audience, kind of. This will be good. So really like to, can you just introduce yourself? Okay, I think I'll start from myself because some of your followers are also watching. So let me introduce myself. What do you think? I think that's proper, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So my name is Amara Kumpo. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a mom, wife. I'm an IELTS tutor. I teach people IELTS. You know the test where you write, the test that you have to write if you want to migrate to Canada, UK, and the rest. So I wrote it in 2018, and I passed. I got a high score. So since then, I've been helping people pass that test also. So aside from that, I also run a YouTube channel, Life of Amara, where I kind of show my life abroad and discuss. It's more like a platform for my voice. When there are pressing issues, I use that platform to like share my thoughts and contribute to a particular topic. So right now, the topic on ground from Lagos, welcome. So the topic on ground now is, that's like the burden, the pressing issue on my mind now has been that people should start growing their food. So I was so fortunate to discover Farmnatics. That's Samuel Farmnatics. I discovered his page on Instagram and I reached out to him that he should come and teach us, so come and show us the way. How can people start growing their food? Because most of us grew up in the cities. So we still look at farm, growing our food as a far-fetched idea. Like it's still looking unreal to us, right? So that is why we're here today. So we have someone from Maiduguri, from Abeokuta, from someone just said from Nigeria. Okay, so welcome everyone. So you all have met me. So Samuel, can you just give us an introduction, your background, how you got into farming? Has it been something that you've been doing? Were you born into it? Was it what you studied in school? Just kind of give us a background to how it all started.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well, loud and clear.
Okay. So good evening everyone, and thank you for honoring my invitation. I've seen some of my people here already. Okay. My name is Ugbe Samuel. I was born and bred in Lagos State. I studied plant science, botany at Delta State University, Abraka. Well, I never imagined myself being a farmer or doing anything agriculture. I've always hoped to be a scientist where I do research on microorganisms and provide solutions to most of the problems we have in the microorganic world. Unfortunately for me, I was taught agriculture. My tutor is here. His name is Mr. Morris Ushena. He taught me most of the stuff I know about farming. In the year 2019, I joined them 2019 at the farm. So I've been learning a lot. I learned a lot from him. I'm still learning. I'm not perfect yet. So my journey to gardening, because for me, I believe in urban farming. I believe in home gardening. I believe in container gardening. So I know most people will say, I don't have space at my house. There's no space. I stay in the rented compound, rented apartment. So it's very difficult for me to cultivate this crop. But that's not an excuse. I started my plant. My first ever plant I did in my garden was a tomato plant. I started it in a clay pot. And to my surprise, the tomatoes was high yielding. I got a lot of yield from that tomatoes. In my own opinion, I would say it was the best in that period. I think there was tomato scarcity then. It was just before the COVID-19. Just before the COVID-19 in 2019 September. Wow. So I started, I was doing well. Yes, so I decided to add herbs to it. I added lavender, thyme, rosemary, and the likes. I just got small pots and I was doing my stuff. And since then, I've not looked back. So that's just the background. Yes.
Wow. So that tomato you planted, was it like from what you were taught, or you just tried it yourself? You just got tomato seeds from is it from your kitchen, or you bought the tomatoes from?
Okay, so I work with a agro input company, so I have access to quality seeds from the Netherlands. So I planted for a customer, and I decided to keep two of the seedlings for myself. So I kept two of the seedlings, and I said, okay, let me get a pot, let me try it, because I've been assisting farmers, but I've not done it practical myself. I've not done it for myself then. That was 2019. But I had the theoretical knowledge. I had the knowledge. I've seen the field. I've followed my boss to the field. I've seen how he does things. I've seen how everything is done. But I have not. There was no hands-on experience. So that was my first experience doing those things myself, and it was intriguing, therapeutic, and really educating.
And was it container farming you did, or was it like you had land that you could
No,
do
no, no,
that?
no, no. I did container. I used the clay
Wow.
pots. The clay pots. I used the clay pots. I didn't have
Okay,
space.
careful.
I live in a very then I was living in a very tiny compound. So I just put a small clay pot close to my window where it had
Mm.
access to direct sunlight.
Okay, that's awesome. So you just started in 2019, and right now, how has it been for you? Like, are you now in a larger space? Do you now grow crops and sell to people, or is it still for yourself? You just grow for yourself and then you train people. Like, what's it like?
Okay. So for now, I still cultivate. I work with farms. I work with farmers. I don't have a land of my own. I still do my gardening at home. I relocated from where I was. I expanded my garden. I added habaneros, bell peppers, grape, kiwi plants, pomegranate. I have many plants, many of them at home. I just do my time, my heads, everything. I have them at home, but I still work with
Mm,
farms. I work with farmers. I provide them with technical solution because most of the problems farmers are facing today is that most of them do not have the technical knowledge to grow food that will give the right yield that is going to eradicate or help mitigate food insecurity in Nigeria. So I grow with them. I provide them with
mm.
technical knowledge, and I also train people. I train people. Currently, I have trainings. I train people online and I train them offline.
Wow, wow. And that online training is very effective. Like for most of us that are not in the same location with you, those trainings, are they effective? Like, have you seen where a particular student that I taught online has now given you feedback that, okay, oh, this is their farm, they've been able to produce? How has it been like? I
Okay,
want to
actually,
understand.
there was a time I worked with a farm. I think that farm was in Ogun State, and I'm in Jos Plateau State. And the man was
Mm,
having many, many issues with his tomatoes. He was confused, and unfortunately, I could not go to his location, which is Ogun State. So we started video
mm,
call. We were doing video calls. I tell him what to do. When it's time for the video call, he goes to the field. He shows me how the plants are doing. He takes close-up pictures, close-up video. I'll tell him, okay, this is disease.
mm,
You are having white fly on your tomatoes. It's causing tomatoes yellowing leaf curl virus. This is the under disease. This is
mm.
mosaic virus. This is what you have to do. Then I'll
Wow.
draft out a
How
schedule.
beautiful.
I'll draft out a schedule for him, a pest management schedule, follow this schedule. And he was really impressed. According to him, he got good yields, good harvest. So my
Mm,
current training
mm,
now is as you learn, you are practicing it. Anything you're
mm,
learning today, you are putting it into practice. Currently, we are at the orientation stage where they are supposed to get all the things, all the farm items, all the inputs we are going to need for the training. They've gotten it,
mm.
most of them have gotten it. So when we start, we are starting on the 20th. So when we start on the 20th, they are going to follow
Yes, yes.
whatever I do. They
It's
are
two
going to
days time.
repeat it. Yes, they are going to repeat whatever I do. I teach them in the video. They are going to repeat it in their own location. So I believe it's going to
Wow.
be very effective, and bridging the
Mm.
gap between different locations in Nigeria. For my training, I have people from Abuja, Lagos, Ghana, and the UK that are registered for the training.
Wow, wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
And I
thank you.
believe most of these people, it's not as if they're farmers, right? Most of them are just individuals
Yeah,
that want to grow food for themselves, right? Are they all
yes.
farmers?
No, no, no. I think 70% of them are new gardeners. They want to start gardening. The remaining
Mm,
people, they have knowledge already. I think about five of them or four of them, they have a small farm, some backyard farm, some normal farm, but they've been struggling with managing pests. According to them, especially for the farmers, the major
mm,
issues they are having is pest management. So the reason they registered for
mm,
the class is to be able to understand how they can manage pests, especially on their tomatoes, because tomatoes is a very
mm,
problematic plant to cultivate. So they want to learn more about
mm-hmm.
tomatoes, how they can control the tuta absoluta. You know, the reason we are having tomato scarcity in Nigeria now is because of the outbreak of tuta absoluta in most of the farms
Are you
in
serious?
5 states.
Wow,
Yeah, 5 states in Nigeria: Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, and I
wow.
think Zamfara or Jigawa. So they are suffering from with Gombe. They are suffering from the outbreak of tuta absoluta. So it's resulting in it's killing the tomato plants, affecting the quality of the fruit. So that's why we have
Wow.
tomato scarcity in Nigeria. And many people are finding it difficult to control these things. So most of them registered for the class so they can have an idea on how they will be able to manage these pests in a sustainable way.
Mm. So it's actually manageable. Like the problem can be solved, right? These pests. You said it's total absoluta.
Yeah,
I don't know if I got the name
Some
right.
people call it tomato
So,
Ebola.
okay. Can it be, is this something that can be controlled? Has it happened before, or this is
Yes,
new,
no,
is
no, no,
new
no, no,
for?
no. There was a time it happened that there was food scarcity in Nigeria. People were now shouting tomato Ebola. I think it was the time of Ebola then that it happened. So it got the nickname tomato
Okay.
Ebola. There was scarcity of tomatoes everywhere. People were now using tin tomatoes to cook. Some people were using carrots and the likes. So the same thing that happened then is happening now. It's not a new stuff.
Wow.
It happens every year, but it's just that the what's it called? The prevalence is not as much as this year. That's why there's scarcity
Wow.
because it hits, I think, over
Hmm.
300 hectares of land were affected. So, and those northern
Hmm.
states are the ones producing the bunch of these tomatoes in Nigeria. So it's something for me. I believe in preventive measure than curative. Although you can manage them, but it's best you prevent them before they become a nuisance to your farm.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. 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 Okay. So before we take it up from here, I would like to know, like, most people still don't. I don't know. I left. Me and my family, we left Nigeria 2021. But I don't know, are people now coming to the realization that they actually need to start growing their food to an extent? From what you've experienced, is it now a common idea? Are people now coming to that realization that, see, we need to start growing our food? Or is it still, some people still think that all they need to do is to make more money and then spend much of that money on food, because cost of living is now high these days. Like, the way cost of food, like I hear gist and people be like, okay, they went to the market to buy a particular food store. The next day they're going there, they're no. Most people now say it's a normal thing that when they go the next day, they'll give them another price. So in Nigeria now, is it now, or people your students that are related with, is it now a common idea for most of them that, oh, we need to start growing our food? Or some people are still not getting the idea that, see, oh, there's danger ahead and we need to prepare for it?
Okay.
Do you understand?
So I'm going to speak from my own limited experience. I think
Of course,
many
yeah,
people,
that.
yeah, many people are really
Mm-hmm.
interested in growing their own food. I've been receiving messages. I've gotten a lot of DMs from people, especially women,
Mm-hmm.
mothers,
Mm-hmm.
elderly people, and elderly men, elderly women, and nursing mothers. They'll message me. I'm interested in growing my food at home. They want to start for themselves first, then subsequently
Yeah,
do it on a commercial level because you can't just go into commercial like that without the right
of
knowledge or without
course.
having the technical know-how. So most of them want to start from home gardening and they have plans in the future to do it on a commercial level. So I've been getting a lot of requests. Aside the issue of food scarcity, another issue is the
Mm.
issue of what's it called, health management. Because most of these farmers, they might decide to
Mm.
spray a pesticide today. They will harvest today, the same
Mm.
day they sprayed, and they will sell these things
Ah,
to us. And we
wow.
know most of these chemicals, they contain carcinogens. And these carcinogens are
Mm.
the things causing most terminal illness like cancer and the likes. So, but if
Are
you are
you
growing your own food,
serious?
yes, if you are growing your own food, you know how and whatever
Mm.
you are spraying on your plants, how to manage it. If you get a chemical, for instance, now if I decide to spray a chemical,
Mm.
the first thing you're supposed to
Mm.
know is the PHI. PHI simply means spray. Is it post harvest interval? Is it post or pre? I
Okay,
can't remember. So it is the duration at
but I
which
get the
the
idea of what you're saying.
yeah the minimum duration at which you can stay before you harvest that crop for consumption. But some of these farmers,
Okay.
especially the local farmers,
Wow.
they don't know all these things. They'll go to the farm. Ah, they see one disease, they see
Wow.
one insect, they'll just pump their sprayer, they spray these
Are
things.
you serious?
The next day, somebody wants tomatoes. Oh yeah, harvest everything and sell to the person.
Hey,
So this is a source of concern
are
for
you
many people. That's why
serious?
many people are going organic or they are not abusing the use of chemical pesticide. Yes.
Hmm. Hmm. And as an individual, it has never occurred to me. Like, many people don't understand what's going on.
No,
We don't understand what's going on. Are you serious? These people will just get any fertilizer, any chemical, and they just want to use it. They won't even check, okay, that maybe it should be sprayed maybe at least a month or maybe 3 weeks before
you harvest.
harvesting.
Yes,
And
yes.
some of them will just spray it
They won't even
today.
read the
The next
label.
day
They
they are
won't read
going
the
to.
label. They won't read the label. Once they just see,
hey, wow, this is
solve my
serious.
problem, they'll use it and so
This
harvest
is
it. That's it.
serious.
That's
This
it.
is
Somebody's even saying
serious.
it's the same for poultry industry.
The same poultry industry. Are you serious? Wow. Yeah, check protect health information. Okay. Are you serious? And most of these farmers are not educated. Do you understand?
No,
So it's now high time. And most of us that have gone to school, at least secondary school or something, there's this idea that when you get a product, you read the label to understand how you're to use it, right? But for them, they're not reading these things. They just want to use it, whichever one works, and they just go with it. And most of the educated ones will now be looking down on farming, going to grow their own food, not knowing that we are living our health at the detriment of people that are not willing to follow due process. Do you understand? We are living our health at the detriment of people that are not educated. They just, anything that works for them, they go with it without looking at the side effects, the repercussions, or whatever. Wow, this is eye-opening. This is eye-opening, seriously. And you made another point. You said that most of people that are requesting for this, your trainings are mostly like elderly and maybe housewives. And so these are people that are hard hit most of the time.
Yes.
I'm a mom, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. So for these people, okay, the elderly, probably some of them on pensions, or they're not earning as much as they used to when they were young. So these people have limited funds. Most time are stay-at-home moms or housewives. There's this whatever is available is given to the wife to prepare food, to use to prepare food. Do you understand? And it's happening before their eyes that, okay, maybe their spouse used to give them maybe 20K to get things for the weekend, right? To cook for the weekend. Yes. And they've seen how that amount of money is losing value before their eyes. Do you understand? Every day they go to markets, they're getting less than they used to buy before, right? They're getting less than they used to get before. So they are the hard hits. They're the ones that are feeling the brunt of this thing. And women, we are like designed in a way that we want to help. We want to see. We want to make sure that everybody's okay in the family. That we're able to like prepare food for everybody. That there's enough food, because children will always go first to the mom to tell you that they're hungry and everything. So it gives a woman a sense of control, that she can actually contribute, that she can actually grow her food for her family. So why I'm doing this live is because I really want people to understand, because some people still want to leave paths to market forces or the government forces, whatever happens in the market. Just like what you're saying now, I never knew that, okay, there's actually a tomato problem going on in 5 states of Nigeria. Some people don't know it. What they know is that there's no tomato in the market, that the price of tomato is going up. And tomato is like a staple for many of us in Nigeria, and then for many all over the world, actually. So some people don't know this. So I hope many people will get to watch this, the replay of this live, to get educated on what is actually going on. And the truth is that it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse in the future. I might not be able to explain it, but maybe some people can go and watch some of my previous Instagram lives on my YouTube channel, because I just have the understanding that this issue is going to get worse. A time will come when people will have money. They'll go to the markets, but there won't be food. But the truth is that some people are actually preparing. There are some people that have gone into farming. Some people that 3 years ago, they were not thinking about farming, but once they had this understanding, they dived into farming, as in they dived into it. So there are some people now that I know, they have greenhouses and they're growing bell peppers, they're growing vegetables, they're growing things like peppers and tomatoes,
cabbages,
vegetables, cucumber, cabbage, yes, things like that. But some people are still just there that, oh, we need to make more money, more money. Money is not the solution this time, because a time will come when people have money, but that thing that happened during lockdown, that palliative, that some people donated to the government, that, oh, they should share to people that are in distress or whatever. And those people that were handed, that were giving those things, those people went to hoard it. Instead of sharing it to people, they were hoarding it. So a situation will happen when, okay, government is okay, they're going to start rationing food, that, okay, there's no food in the country or something. Not just Nigeria, like, it's going to happen in major countries of the world because of certain things that just, many factors playing into just playing out. And government is okay, we have to step into the whole thing. We are going to start rationing food. Okay, this region, if you need this supply of food, go to this place, go to this place. But some wicked people will hold those supply down. They want to hold it. They want to hold it. They want to divert it. So at that point in time, people will now be at the mercy of those people. And we don't want that. Because of this thing, I've just been like, I need to just collaborate with people, like create awareness, let people know.
The solution.
You know that. You want to say something?
For me, the solution to most of this food insecurity happening in Nigeria today is urban farming. I always say urban farming, because now in rural areas, they are being faced with bandits, with herders invading their farms and killing their plants. But if we have a standard farm, a community farm in the cities and in urban areas, we'll be able to mitigate this problem to a good level. We'll be able to mitigate this problem. Like now, many farms are coming up in urban areas. We're having the greenhouse farms, we're having the tunnel farming, we're having the urban garden, but we need more of this. And we want more people, especially the youth, to go into it, not just the elderly ones, because the youth, they have more strength, they have more vigor, and they are more creative than most of our elderly ones. So I think the youth should go into farming, urban farming, both fish farming, poultry farming, vegetable farming, grain, legumes, and the likes, not just vegetables. So it should be holistic holistic. Everything should be holistic, because there are people. I saw a post on Twitter, somebody tagged me. I've not gone to read the post. The man was asking, if the government decided to make 7 crops compulsory, which one will you cultivate? I was confused. It was putting beans, maize, and the likes. There are some people that they want more of these things. All these things cannot satisfy our nutritional requirements, because according to the definition of food security, is a situation whereby food is available, sufficient. Is it sufficient, nutritious, and healthy food? We have access to it at all day, all time. We don't want a situation where there will be food, but the food is not providing nutritional value to us. Because it's going to be useless at the end of the day. We want something that is going to nourish our body. We want something that is going to give us vitality. We want something that is going to give us strength to do our daily work. For me, the solution is urban farming. Youth should go into agriculture. That's why I've been organizing most of these trainings. And sincerely, some people have indicated interest. I hope more people indicate interest. They will learn how to cultivate their own food, grow food for themselves, and grow food, and they'll grow cultivate food to help eradicate food insecurity in Nigeria.
Wow. So you said urban farming. So when you're talking of urban farming, do we need space? So just imagine people that are living in apartments, buildings, like our space is just like our balcony. Like, so when I say urban farming, what's the image? What are we looking at?
Now, urban farming, it's diverse. In urban farming simply means cultivating food in urban areas. And in most urban areas, we don't have space. Of course, we don't have space. So what people do is container gardening, container farming, vertical farming. Yes, the most effective for me is vertical farming and container farming. So vertical farming is where you grow food in stack. There are vertical pots, or you design a vertical stand, you cultivate your food in those stands. And there are also containers. You don't have space in your compound. Your compound is interlocked like my compound. I use wooden box. I use cinder blocks. I use sack. I use anything available in a container. I put my substrate and grow my food. So just like the way we have what's it called, these community centers, and this you see most of these big estates, they'll tell you they have mall, they have swimming pool. There should be a community garden. There should be a community garden where people can go every Saturday to go and farm, they
Yes.
go and grow their food for themselves in
Okay.
that estate, in that community. There should be a community garden. It's not about swimming pool. It's not about the mall. It's not about the
Abby.
playground. We want a community garden. Number one, it brings about
Hmm.
togetherness. Number two, it is highly therapeutic. It is the greatest form of exercise any adult
Seriously,
and
I
female
wanted to
can do.
say that.
So I think
Therapeutic.
we should put more effort in making community garden in every city or every street.
Good point. Seriously, good point.
Yeah.
You see all those estates, and real estate is booming in Nigeria now. Most of them would just want to build an estate side by side, all those terrace, is it duplex or something, I don't know. And there'll be a space for maybe tennis courts and then swimming pool, like a playground for children and all that. So those things are not, we can do without them. In fact, if you want to go and swim, or there'll surely be maybe one hotel or like a recreational facility where you can do all those things. But that farming is very, very important. This is a good point. You should be, I don't know, how can we do this? Like bring in people in the real estate sector and start bringing this idea to them, like letting them know what is important for us at this time. Do you understand? What are you saying? Space
Yes.
for planting all these flowers to be used. Seriously, thank you so much. Thank you. This point is very important. Thank you. I see this a lot in the country where I live. I live in Georgia. Georgia, close to Turkey. Um, Turkey, which other country? Russia, under Russia or something. So like at the edge of Europe. So it's not the Georgia in the USA. And I see lots of people, they like to plant flowers around their windows and all that. I'm just like, you people can just plant maybe your spices or maybe peppers or something instead of all these flowers all over the place. Seriously, instead of planting, those estates, they like to do like some ornamental flowers and gardenings and all that around. So instead of using all those spaces for all those things, they should use it for gardening actually. They should
True.
actually use it for gardening. So
True.
this is a very good point. So people should not have excuses that they live in apartments. You've talked about container gardening and vertical
Sorry.
farming.
Let
So
me even
this,
talk about this container garden now. Now in Nigeria,
mm-hmm,
there's scarcity of tomatoes and there's scarcity of peppers, the habaneros. But I was telling somebody that this does not have any effect on me because my peppers, they are plenty. I have them plenty inside my room now. I harvest my peppers twice every
seriously,
week. So you go to the market with 100 naira, you can't buy pepper. You will not be able to buy pepper.
seriously,
Even 100 naira will not get you
seriously,
tomatoes. But I have all these things at home. I have everything from my time I use for cooking. I have my tomatoes. I have my what's it called? I have my habaneros. I abandoned my garden because I traveled, so I lost most of my plants. I lost most of them.
mm,
So, but if you have these things
mm.
available at home, whether the market is people are saying there's no tomatoes in the country or there's no pepper, there's no thyme, there's
That's the
nothing,
funny thing.
it won't concern you. You are in a safe
That's the
space.
funny thing.
You're in a safe space.
Some people are low-key enjoying, just like yourself. Some people are low-key enjoying. In the midst of the scarcity, that some people like you, low-key enjoying. Seriously, people that have their garden set up, they have surplus. Like, I saw there's one lady I follow on Instagram. So their house, they have a garden where they plant vegetables. They also have poultry where they grow,
That's
where they
that's the
have
dream.
layers. What?
I said that's the dream.
Seriously, as in, they actually created a space for these things. And there was a time she made a post, a video, and she was just complaining that who wants green or who wants green. You know what we call green in Nigeria now? So it's
Spinach.
like she has too much. Yes, spinach. She was saying that she has too much, that you people should come and take, because they are just growing all over the place. Like they now took up the whole space of the garden, you understand? And she'll just say, who wants green? No, come to my house. I'll just say, just imagine. And this is the case, actually. Some people have surplus. While people that are still going to the market every day are the ones complaining. Some people have surplus, actually, in the midst of all these things. Well, he's saying something important. He says schools need to also build curriculum that gets, yes, involved. Seriously, because I think it's only schools in the rural areas that still do things like this, where
Yes.
children will come with hoe and all that. But those in the city, they are not even looking at things like this.
Mm-mm.
Seriously, it should be in the school curriculum these days, because
especially there should be a club. We have gents club, we have science club, we have dance club, we have the likes in most schools. There should be a young farmers club where farm students can come together and cultivate a crop of their choice. I don't know why we are slacking on these things. I don't know why
with
we are slacking.
guidance, yes.
I don't know.
They have a teacher that guides them.
Yes.
Not just a club. It should be like a school activity that, okay, this is the school farm. Everybody gets involved. Like, this is the school farm. Okay, class 1, class 2. What?
I said provided you eat, you are supposed to be involved.
Yes, now, yes. They say, okay, today, primary 4 or primary 5, today is your turn to do this. Maybe you're weeding the farm, you're going to prune. We'll show you how to prune. That's how it should be done, seriously. Sure. So many things are happening. Okay, I want to, there's a lot to talk about, really, but I want to be sure that whoever watches this, even after this live, that they'll be able to, like, get concrete information and be inspired and even get to contact you, like, and get the training, get the guide that they need to set up something immediately. So there's something you mentioned. You said substrates. You mentioned substrates when you're talking about container gardening and all that. So substrate, I think this is not soil, right? So we don't need soil. We don't need to start going to pack soil from somewhere.
No.
Is it something else that's...
Let me talk about substrate now. Substrate is simply a medium used for farming. So, most of the time, most of our soil, they've been depleted of their nutrients or their fertility because they've been used, overused, and abused. So you get a soil. Maybe you go to a location. Now, when I started gardening, there was a place I got a soil from. I went to dig soil and I took it there. I had limited knowledge. I took this soil to my house. I put them in my clay pots, and my plants were dying. It was later I discovered that this was caused by soil-borne pathogens like the verticillin, Fusarium, Oxysporum, nematodes, grubs, and the likes that were inside the soil. They were killing my plant. I was surprised. This plant is looking healthy, but they are dying. What thing happened to my plants? It was later I discovered that it was a problem from the soil. So now, to solve this problem, many people are going into soilless gardening or soilless farming. I don't need to have personally, for me, my belief is to cultivate and produce more food from a very small land. I don't believe in cultivating 10 hectares of land to feed anybody. If you are
seriously, I think
if you are cultivating sustainably, if you are growing your food sustainably, you are going to get more than somebody on one plot. You are going to get more than the average Nigerian farmer that is growing his food the local way on 1 acre of land. You are going to get more. You are doing more sustainably on one plot. This is what I intend teaching people. Get more from less. Now, soilless farming, to your question, is the most common medium or substrate used in Nigeria is cocoa peat. Cocoa peat is a byproduct of coconut. It's a byproduct of coconut. It does not have any soil-borne pathogen. It is inert. It has good water retention capacity. It is well aerated, and it's just a good medium to support the growth of your plants. So what I do most of the time, I mix my cocoa peats. I get a block of cocoa peats. By the way, I sell cocoa peats. I get a block of cocoa peats. I mix it with my manure. I use rabbit manure because rabbit manure is a cold manure. When I mean cold manure, it does not have any negative effects. It does not have any toxicity on your plants. Unlike chicken manure, that is very hot. It can burn your plants and kill your plants. Cow manure has too much weed. If you use cow manure, you start weeding almost every week. The weeds are too much because the cows are eating many grains and legumes. So what I use is rabbit manure. I have access to rabbit manure. I convert my rabbit pellets into powder, mix it with my cocoa peats, there are many things I add. I add everything together, put it in my pot or my container, and I'm good to go.
Okay. So we're trying to simplify this for people like myself that we're just trying to grow our food, right? And we want something that is very easy. So when you're talking about these substrates, you are mentioning things that has to be mixed. Is it something that is expensive? Is it something that will take somebody a lot to start?
No, okay. Let me assume now that you want to start with 6 plants, maybe 2 tomatoes, 2 peppers, and 2 2 tomatoes, 2 peppers, and 2 cucumber, for instance. You're starting with that in your home garden. a block of cocoa peats and with a mixture of manure is going to be enough, depending on the container you're using. So depending on the container, a block of cocoa peats can fill one big bowl. Do you know those plastic bowl now? We used to wash clothes those days, those big plastic bowl. If you dissolve it, a block of cocoa peats can fill that bowl. And if you have that kind of bowl, you know the number of containers that cocoa peat is going to fill up for you to use. And again, you're going to mix it with what's it called? Animal manure or compost, just to improve on the texture and fertility. Yes.
Okay, so all these things, it's not going to be expensive, and we can easily get them around us.
Yes.
We buy from you because you're in Jos. Yes. So I'm imagining maybe someone in Lagos. So is this something that they can get from maybe? Where can all these things go?
I have supplier for now. I have supplier in Southwest and North Central. I supply in North Central Jos. I have supplier in Lagos and Ogun State.
Okay. Yes, so they're easily, get it.
Yes. Oh, and it's just the block ranges depending on the type. There are different type of cocoa peats. There's the washed cocoa peats. There's the washed and buffered cocoa peats. The washed cocoa peats I think it's 6,000 naira. Washed and buffered is 8,000 naira. So once you get it, just dissolve it in water and you're good to go.
Okay, you said washed. The washed. I didn't really get that word. Did you say washed?
Yes, washed.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've said that the solution, because what all these things they are telling me, I'm going to start carrying it, like talking about it, telling people that see your urban farming. I've learned a lot. You've talked much more than I even imagined, but I just wrote some things down. But I know that I'm going to be pushing urban farming from now on, and that youth should be involved in this and letting them know that these things are easy. And see, the things you are getting from the farm, the things you are getting from the market, we are not even sure about them. We don't know if we are using our own hands to like poison ourselves because of what we are buying. Wow, it's been eye-opening so far. So can you tell us about your training? Okay, do you want to say something before I go on?
Yes. So for these vegetables, like I specialize on vegetable farming. So vegetables like tomatoes.
Vegetables like what? Tomatoes.
Yes, tomatoes, peppers, cabbages, cauliflower, broccoli. Those things take 3 months from sowing to harvest. Cucumber takes 45 days from sowing till harvest. Lettuces takes 30 days from sowing to harvest. Radishes take 30 days from sowing to harvest. So it's not something that you are doing for half a year or 1 year. They are short. They have short short life cycle.
Okay. So tomatoes and pepper, that will be like the most important for many people. For many people in Nigeria. Like seriously, wow, that's beautiful. So can you just, for those that have been interested in the training, can you just let us know what it's like? Can people join into this current one, the one that is ongoing, or will they wait for another batch?
Okay. No, for now the vegetable farming we are starting into this time. So I said the person is going to join tomorrow. I think they can wait for the next batch of training I'm doing. Is going to be on herbs. Herbs, when I mean herbs, I'm talking about the parsley, cilantro, sage, lavender, thyme, rosemary, stevia, and the like. So the training is coming up next month, October 20th, but registration is on already. So I think over 10 people have registered. Yeah, and registration is still ongoing till 2nd week of August. So if you're interested, you can always message me on Fanatics or go to Akposi20, my personal page. Akposi20 is AKPOSY, then 2020. Message me there, and you are interested in joining the class. I'm going to send you the details and give you further briefing. Thank you. The training, I also offer one-to-one consultation for new farmers and new gardeners. I consult for you and guide you one-to-one. There are many people that want to be private, they don't want to be in a group of anything. So I also offer one-to-one, training section. I train people, I train your workers, I train staff, I do consultation on sustainable farming.
Yes. Okay. Wow. A lot of young people, we need to be educated on all these things and start doing them because time is short. Because the next few years, next 5 years or so, things are going to start getting worse. Not just in Nigeria, globally, like when it comes to food supply. So people need to start getting to work. Some people have already started doing these things low key. Some people are already into it. But we just need to get more people involved. We need to get more people involved. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all these things that you taught us. And after today, I'm going to start pushing it that urban farming, because myself, that's what I've been doing here. I've tried to grow some things in my containers, and it's been funny because I'll call it an experiment. It's been funny. So there's a need for us to work with an expert. So we'll just get results. We'll get good results from beginning to the very end of whatever I want to produce. So thank you so much, Samuel, for agreeing to do this. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I know you are a busy person because I know how you, when you said I should call you then and I had to, you said you were going to call, but I eventually was one that called. I want to remind all those things. So thank you so much. I know you're busy.
And this is actually my first Instagram live. I don't go live on anything. I don't like my face anywhere.
Wow, that's beautiful. So the Lord has used me to do a miracle in your life now. So it's beautiful.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So God has used me to do a miracle in your life. You should be coming live often, like, because it's to help people to know that okay, this is this person. We can ask him questions directly and all that. Because not everybody wants to do a group class, or as you said, some people want to do consultation, and seeing you come on live will like make it even easier for them to relate with you. So
yes,
I'm glad I also was able to like influence you positively. So thank you so much. We'll still be in contact because I don't know how it's going to be, but I know that I'll still sign up for your program. It might be one-on-one consultation. I don't know how it's going to be, but just know that you've gotten one client in me. You have a client in me. So thank you so much. This replay, I'm likely to post it on my YouTube channel, Life of Amara. I'm going to post it there because I want more people to see this. I want it to be there. So after weeks, months, people are still seeing it there because, as we all know, Instagram is not a search engine. So many people won't see this. But when it's on YouTube, when people search about maybe agri farming, container farming, urban, they'll get to see the video. So that's why I'm going to be posting this replay. I hope that's okay. Is that fine by you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's so many things to talk about, but I think I've gotten the key, the solution, as you said. You said it's urban farming, and young people, the youth should get involved. And this urban farming is actually is a great solution because we are not even constrained by land. You know, most people think of when they say, okay, you need to start farming, they'll just think of land and they'll just have this excuse, I don't have land. Do you understand? They'll say, oh, I don't have land. And then they'll just unconsciously minus themselves from the whole equation. But once we tell them, okay, urban farming, you don't need so much space, there's something you can do to get plenty produce, they'll buy into it easily. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm so grateful for all this enlightenment. And you've already said that there's a problem right now, the tomato disease and how it's affecting the market supply of food. So people just need to start doing something. So anybody watching this live will know that they can reach out to you, Farmnatics or Abosi20 on Instagram, and you would help them set up their farm. So we'll be any final comments before we end this Instagram live? Do you have any final comments?
Well, I want to thank everybody watching this for taking your time to go through this video. I believe, I'm a firm believer that food should be sufficient for everybody because it is part, or it is one of our fundamental rights as humans. So, and I believe everybody should cultivate food in one form or another. So if you're interested in learning how to cultivate food, both on commercial level and just for your personal consumption, you can always message me on Instagram, comment on my post, and I'll be willing to help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Samuel. I'm so grateful. So we'll be calling it, we'll be drawing the curtains here, and
Okay.
I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye-bye. Bye. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone that joined. Thank you so much for joining us in this Instagram live. Wow, it was eye-opening, really. It was eye-opening. And he clearly made a point. He has given the solution that what we need right now is urban farming. So there's no excuse. There's nothing like, oh, I don't have a land, I don't have land to use. He even said that urban farming is a great solution because you have a lot of control. You can get substrates instead of soil, maybe getting sand from outside that must have been polluted or has depleted or might have a disease. So it's awesome. I can't wait to start. Working with him, and I encourage many of us to contact him. I pinned his handle here at Bossy20 and Farmnatics, so you can reach out to him on Instagram and he'll help you set up your urban farm. So you don't need the land. You don't need the land to start farming. That's just the summary of this. You don't need the land. There's actually something you can start doing to start growing your own food. So thank you guys for joining on this live. I'll see you guys in my next Instagram live. So bye-bye. My name remains Amara Kompo.